Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. I am joined alongside my co-pilots. I've got the master at work, Ray from Dear Pats Nation, and Richie from Jets Media. We're here to talk some smack about the Jets and Pats Week 2 matchup in the Meadowlands. I'm looking forward to it. Boys, let's introduce our panel. Master at work, welcome to the cockpit.
Thank you for having me on your channel, Ryan. One of my favorite Jets vid makers. You and Richie are definitely the best out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like I said, my name's Matt. You guys see me under AFC's Roundtable. Like I said, go to my channel, Master at Work. I am the quote-unquote Patriots troll, is what everyone calls me, which is true. So don't take anything I say that seriously. Don't take it to heart. It's just good banter.
I love it. Ray, you have been on the channel before. Welcome back, Ray. How you doing over there?
Ryan, I had no intentions of coming tonight until I found out Richie was going to be here. All right, after 2 Fridays ago on #sports and your total blindside, I was done. I'd written you off, but Richie talked me into it. No, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. As soon as you said smack, always like that I got my boy up top with me because everybody knows I'm the worst smack talker in the world. Anytime somebody ever comes at me, I got to message him and say, can you deal with this guy? Because I'm not good at that. Happy to be here, though. Thanks, Ryan.
I love it. For those of you wondering, Ray and I were on #sports last week, and he was being very complimentary of Zach Wilson. And I was like, oh, yeah, Mac Jones, he looks like he's doing pretty good. And we go live, and I just, whacked him with the, I hope Mac Jones sucks. I'm dropping everything left and right. And Ray was like, I hate you.
So, just a blind
we
side.
Put our differences aside for the beginning of the stream.
Just a total blind side. But, yeah, you can find me over on my channel, Dear Pats Nation. We just like to have fun over there. We talk a lot of ish, but it just turns into a bunch of nonsense. You can also find me on Newsbreak, and I'm also just signed with I just started this week with a company called Colorcast. You can find me over there 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Nice. I love it. Guys, all their channels are in the description down below. So even though they're Patriot fans, go subscribe up to them because they are some great content creators, and it's always good to know your enemy. But I have a co-pilot who is my friend. And I'm looking forward to this. Richie from Jets Media. Richie, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me on. I am very honored to be on this stream right now to talk some smack to some Patriots fans that I know very well. Master at Work and I go way back. We started the AFC East Roundtable last year, and it's been a ride. So if you guys don't know what the AFC East Roundtable is, please make sure you guys check that out. It's on my channel. It's on Master at Work's channel. It's on TD Fins Talk. Dan Mitchell. We go crazy during, every single Wednesday night. And then Ray, of course, he was on my channel earlier this week. So it's great to have familiar faces on here. Ryan, I'm excited to talk Jets and Pats.
Guys, Richie and I are going to be at the Jets game Week 2 with O'Leary and Green Bean and Joe Blewett and Sack Exchange. All these guys are going to be coming together to cheer for our home opener.
For a big disappointment party.
Oh, you shut up down there in your corner. You know what? I think I have the power. Do I have the power to do this? Can I mute you?
Don't even do it already.
Aren't there maggots in the ketchup? I heard there's maggots in the ketchup.
I don't eat the food at MetLife. Let's be real here. I don't eat a $13 hot dog or a $20 hot dog or whatever they're going to try and sell me. I'm going to eat all my food in the parking lot. I'm going to throw it up like a real man, and then I'll continue my day. I'm going to get way too much food in me, way too much beer in me. And then I'm just going to be absolutely belligerently fanatical once the game kicks off.
Yeah, nothing better than a drunk Jet fan.
Oh, God. Well, it's kind of it's just end the suffering, right? So, you just kind of, go with it. You need to kind of cope in different ways, and one of those ways is pretending that we're going to be incredibly dominant over you guys, but it's going to happen. I believe it this time.
Sure.
Not since 2015, I think, right?
Everything's different.
They haven't won a game. The Jets haven't. I saw it today. They haven't beat the Patriots in regulation in 10 years, without having to win in overtime.
Oh, give me a break.
It's been 10
out
years.
on that beautiful Eric.
I think the last time you beat us was 2015 Was that Geno Smith?
No, that was Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That had to be end of the season, though.
That was the ridiculous.
That wasn't over.
Overtime,
that
Eric
was,
Decker in the back of the end zone, and
that's
then
right.
for the win.
Yeah, That
I
guy,
don't even
Newlaw had
remember
that
that.
downfield.
you guys beat us, I think, on Thursday Night Football once, where Slater screwed up and he thought he picked to kick off and thought he got to pick the side too, and you guys got that was that controversial, and then you guys got the ball in because Belichick told him, go tell us that we're going to kick off because we wanted to kick into the wind, and then he didn't realize that if he picks the kickoff, you guys got to pick the side as well, so you got the ball in the wind. It was
see, so we just outsmarted you. That's what it is.
Yeah, Rex Ryan, smartest coach in the game. What can you say?
You know what? He's a
solid broadcaster.
One of our best coaches, unfortunately.
And then we can't forget to bring up Mark Sanchez, the rookie Mark Sanchez beating the Pats in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but that's 12 years ago.
I know. That's all we got, Ryan.
I mean, do you want to talk about the butt fumble?
Dude, the butt fumble.
The Austin Severn-Jenkins crazy play call. Remember that?
My favorite Jets Patriots connection.
Yeah.
My favorite Jets Patriots connection is when Revis came and won a Super Bowl with us, and then you guys paid him $1 trillion to come back, and he just wasn't Darrelle Revis anymore, and then you were just stuck with him on your books.
He retired. That's what it was. We're still paying Tremaine Johnson. Legitimately, every cornerback on our roster, with the exception of Hardy, who's mainly a special teamer. If you factor in all our cornerbacks, not their entire salary does not eclipse the dead cap hit of Tremaine Johnson. Yeah,
the best Jets Patriots moment for me was when Belichick wrote the note, "I quit."
Yeah, your best coach in the history of the Jets is Bill Belichick. Like, come on.
That is nuts.
It's not really.
Yeah, I think that's the most important.
Yes, like it's not the Jets' best coach, but it's the best coach that ever coached the Jets for 11 hours or whatever it was.
Because imagine had Belichick coached the Jets and then drafted Brady. We would.
See, what sucks is I don't
would that
know
been the same thing. I
don't know.
Would we have a
totally different team? Would it be, or do we? Because since we have Woody Johnson as our owner, is it like a maybe different autonomy than the Kraft family? I don't know.
And you wouldn't have had the defense.
So that way, I don't just hate my life about not having.
You know what? So you wouldn't have had the defense that they had that Belichick inherited either, right? So that would have been one of them.
All right.
I mean, our owner likes getting massages, and your owner likes hanging out with Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, we all have our, things in ownership that we don't like.
That's horrible.
I do have to thank you guys, though. Okay, every Patriots fan owes the Jets a really big thank you, because if you believe the stories that came out, Mac Jones wasn't supposed to be a Patriot. The Patriots were sitting there waiting for Vera Tucker to fall to number 15. The Patriots were waiting for Tucker to go to 15. Belichick was in love with him, was going to look for a quarterback in next year's draft. And the New York Jets ensured that Mac Jones, that they had no choice but to take Mac Jones. We want to thank you again for helping us with a franchise-altering move.
I really, really hope that Mac Jones burns his tongue on hot coffee and can't taste anything the rest of the season. That's how I don't wish really bad injury on him or anything, but enough where maybe he can't yell an audible or is inconvenienced in some way throughout the course of his day. That's what I really hope. And then I hope you burn your tongue on that, whatever you're drinking right there.
That's my cold coffee from my drive home. Thank you, though, Ryan.
Well, I hope it gets warm on you. That's that. Right. You see? Inconvenient, right?
Can we talk real football?
We can talk real football. Guys in the chat, if you are a member of the channel, I have decided to swap out some of the emojis in the chat so you can have fun with our Patriot fans with these emojis. So you're welcome, and I hope we get to see a lot of it. Let's go around. We'll talk a little bit about what happened last week to our teams and where we kind of saw deficiencies or positives, and then we'll go into the game. And then we have a few prop bets that I think we can get into later on in the show. So, Richie, I'll throw it to you first. Give the Patriot fans that are out there a little bit of a insight into what happened to us week 1.
Yeah, I had a first close perspective of it. I was down in Charlotte, and what happened in Charlotte was basically we got dominated at the line of scrimmage, mostly on the offensive side of the ball. We absolutely just, first half in particular, Zach Wilson was running for his life, and it was really unfortunate. Not only did we not protect Zach Wilson, but we cannot open up holes for anybody in the running game. And what the Patriots do so well for the rookie quarterback is running the ball first, because that's what you need to give a rookie quarterback's job a lot easier. And that's the Jets' goal with Zach Wilson, because we have this outside zone run scheme that we're implementing, but we just cannot get the run game going at all. And that really hurt Zach Wilson and this offense in general. So Zach had to deal with the pressure in his face all first half. And then in the second half, late in the third quarter, he finally adjusted to getting literally pass rushed every single time he stepped back. And all of a sudden, we saw the talent from Zach Wilson. We're down 16-0. He marches down the field, improvises, rolls to his right, throws his first touchdown of his career to Corey Davis. And then the defense is keeping us in the game. The defense is playing very well, keeping Sam Darnold, keeping Christian McCaffrey out of the end zone. And then Zach Wilson marches down the field, goes from our own 8-yard line, has crazy throw after crazy throw, converting fourth down, and then gets absolutely drilled, gets sacked to the point where I thought he was not getting up. And my perspective of that play was I was right in front of it, and I see 2 interior defensive linemen crush Zach. And I'm immediately thinking of the worst, because Becton just got hurt, and I was really worried, and Zach was on the ground for a little bit. But then he gets up, and the one thing that was a big question mark about Zach Wilson coming out of BYU was, is he going to be able to take an NFL hit? Does he have that tough and grit factor? How's he going to deal with pressure? Because at BYU, he never did. Well, that one game really answered it for me personally, because after that, he stepped up next play, hitting Corey Davis for a crossing route, and then the next play after that, hitting Corey Davis in the end zone. So that just showed me, as a Jets fan, a lot of hope that he has that toughness factor, because that was a question mark for me as well. Like, how is he going to be able to handle the NFL when it comes to big guys hitting him? Because it's a completely different ball game. So all in all, the game did not start off as we wanted to. I wanted a win, but I knew that it wasn't going to be guaranteed that we get this W. And it's not about W's this year for the Jets. It's about the development and building a foundation. And Zach Wilson finished off that game so well, where Jets fans felt very optimistic after the game, even though we lost.
Yeah, you know what? As much as that first half was awful for the New York Jets, and the game in general, like, I didn't want to see Sam throw the big touchdown to Robbie, and Becton goes down, and like there's a lot of negatives. Everyone's doom and gloom, and we're seeing all this stuff. And the only thing I wanted to see that was positive was Zach Wilson, and I wasn't disappointed in the first half. It was more, I guess maybe I was disappointed with the offensive line's performance, so we couldn't see a full Zach Wilson. But then in the second half, it seemed like everyone kind of calmed down. I think we had a lot of first game jitters from our rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback. We had like 9 or 10 guys starting for the first time. So I think having that out of the way and that sort of weight off their shoulders, I'm hoping that is making a more dialed-in team for this week. Maybe playing in their home stadium might have a little bit more oomph to it. Kevin Delaney, thank you so much for joining the Jets Talk 24/7 channel. Drop some JETS in the chat for Kevin. You're the man, dude. I love you. Now, Master at Work, I'll throw it to you. Talk to us about your week 1 matchup against the Dolphins.
So, well, like I said, obviously we all know we lost, but we had turnovers. Damon Harris fumbled at the 9-yard line. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled early on. The first step back for Mac Jones was also a fumble, but we recovered it. He looked like, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of nervous for Mac Jones when that happened. I was like, oh, this is not going to start out well, because then the Dolphins ended up scoring on their first possession. So we were automatically down 7-0. But then Mac Jones kind of calmed down. He completed 74.5% of his passes. He won Rookie of the Week according to PFF. There's never been a rookie with a better completion percentage than Mac Jones. He had some of the most prettiest throws I've seen since Tom Brady was under center, like the little pass to James White, even under pressure. Like, people say he was checking down. Listen, the Dolphins blitzed us 19 times. 19 times, so he had to get the ball out quick. And And even under pressure, I think we were 11 for 16 on third downs, which is also pretty good. As far as other Mac Jones news, like I said, he got blitzed really fast. There was a play where he got hit in the mouth and the pass was on point on the third down. He completed it. We didn't lose this game because of Mac Jones. I think we lost this game obviously because of turnovers. And for some reason, our defense couldn't get a stop when we absolutely needed one, especially at the end of the game when Tua ended up getting the ball back. And for some reason, I don't know, for the love of me, why some of the personnel decisions Belichick makes. 𝐒𝐻𝐳𝐕𝐢𝐞𝐰 was on the field a lot of this game when he has no business being on the damn field, in my opinion. I don't know what to do. And Dante Hightower actually got hurt, so he wasn't playing most of the game. I don't know what's up with him. Gilmore is still on IR, so he won't be back till week 6. The positive note is I heard today that he is actually talking with J.C. Jackson, and they're going back and forth. So he's still kind of integrated within the team. So I expect him back soon. Like I said, we lost this game because of turnovers, dumb penalties, holding penalties at home. And what do we always know about the Patriots? They're a well-disciplined machine under Bill Belichick. But I keep telling people, when you bring in all these free agents, when you don't draft well and you have to rebuild your team through free agency, a lot of these players like Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, they're all coming from different organizations where they're not used to being disciplined players. So you have to integrate them with the Patriot way. So it's going to take some time to get these penalties and just stupid mistakes out of the way. It's going to take some time because it's different when you draft a player and you can groom him within your system rather than, okay, well, we didn't do well in the draft, so now we got to pick up 2 tight ends. We got to spend over $100 million in free agency. So that's the reason why I believe the mistakes happened last week. So other than that, Mac Jones is as advertised. He's efficient. He has a pretty ball. He's accurate. He's deadly accurate. Every pass he thrown was just on point, and it needed to. He's not going to have the greatest arm, but you don't need that type of arm talent. You just need, especially within our system. But when he needed to throw the ball deep, the ball can get there. It doesn't get there like a Mahomes would, like a Mahomes ball would be. Other than that, man, like I said, I really don't have no problems with the loss, because I believe that now they know what Mac Jones is capable of. They're going to open up the playbook now. Hopefully that's what they do this week.
Ray, what about you? What were your thoughts on last week's loss to the Dolphins? How'd you feel about Mac Jones, and where do you see this kind of going?
You guys ever see one of those games where you walk away frustrated, but there's enough there so you're not down? And that's how it went. I've never seen the Patriots lose a game in the most un-Patriot way. They basically lost the way they usually beat other teams, right? The Patriots take care of the football, don't take penalties, let the other team beat themselves. I'm going to defend Mac Jones a little bit because there's stat watchers that don't watch the actual games and make their opinions. And one of the narratives coming around is, well, Mac Jones was in the red zone 4 times. They only scored 1 touchdown. The first time they were in the end zone, the Patriots set up 1st and goal at the goal line. Unfortunately, that play that set that up got negated by a holding call on the other side of the field that had nothing to do with the play. So 1st and goal from the goal line became 2nd and 20 from the 30. So that was their first red zone attempt, and that ended up, turning into a field goal. Their second red zone attempt, they scored a touchdown. He threw a touchdown to Nelson Aguilar. His third, he didn't get one, and his 4th was a Damian Harris fumble on the 10-yard line. So, yes, they were in 4 times. Yes, they only scored 1 touchdown, but if you watch the game, the narrative doesn't match the stat, right? It's not Mac Jones not being able to navigate the red zone. It's just the Patriots did un-Patriots things that we're not used to seeing. Concerns out of that game, as Master at Work mentioned, Hightower got hurt, but he was slow. I was a little disappointed in the Patriots' open field tackling. It was probably the worst open field tackling I've seen in a couple years. We got killed on slants. That's what worries me about the Jets, because you do have those speed receivers. Tua threw for 180 yards in that game. 111 of those yards were yak yards. So we just got killed on tackles. We got killed on being burnt by speedy receivers and tackles. He didn't have a lot of these beautiful deep throws. And again, the Patriots lost in the most unpatriot way. You saw Mac Jones kind of leading the Patriots down the field, 3 minutes left in the game, getting into the red zone. It was like, this feels like old times. And then they did what they never do. They fumbled the football and turned it over. It was a good game. It wasn't perfect. There was things that had to be fixed. There was a couple of drops that I wasn't happy with. We have to do something about the run defense because it did not come as advertised, as we were all expecting it to look. And then, I think what disappointed me more is, yes, Damien Harris fumbled, and he's sort of been the GOAT this week to everybody, but, for fumbling that football, and not GOAT in the good way. Yet Tua took his first snap out of his own end zone after a penalty. Took the first snap out of his own end zone, and the defense just let Miami have their way, and they burnt the clock. Right, which is, and you can't do that. So I walked away, of course, concerns. They're not a perfect team. Tyson hit it. You got a rookie quarterback. You got 2 tight ends who hardly played in the preseason, and actually, one that missed most of training camp. Things are going to gel. They're only going to grow and get better and better as the year goes on. I was super happy about our offensive line. I mean, 19 blitzes. Mac got hit a few times, but they kept him pretty good. And there was a couple of plays where Mac moved around the pocket, and he had one where he took off to the right side and threw a beautiful strike, and unfortunately it got negated by a penalty. And then, again, to defend the checkdowns, Mac had over 60 yards taken back, 60 yards in passing negated due to penalties as well. The Patriots took 8 penalties for 84 yards, but I go, that doesn't tell the whole story when you're talking about another 60 passing yards that get taken back from the penalties as well. So it was a loss. You got to take it on the chin. You got to own it. They did it to themselves. It's one of those games where you say the Patriots lost, the Dolphins didn't win. And I know Buffalo had a bad start, but if Miami was playing their best, I think Buffalo's going to stomp them this weekend, to be real with you. Like, it's because they look good. Their defense is no joke. It's a top 5. Their defense is no joke. I wouldn't have faith in that offense though if that was their best.
Yeah, I watched every snap of the Patriot Dolphin game, and I came away thinking, like, man, the Patriots just kind of dropped one. Like that's what it felt like. Like, Mac did look good. The offensive line looked really good. I'm definitely concerned about that, considering the pass rush we got or didn't get against the Carolina Panthers. We did not get a very good push up front. And it looked like Waddle kind of took over from a yak perspective. It felt like he's going to be pretty good. He's going to be something to watch out for, I think, in this division. But I'm definitely not, like, fearing Tua at all, at least not at this point. Now, I am hoping that Zach Wilson is a better quarterback than Tua, and then we put a little more pressure on your defense. And we just got to hope we can force some turnovers here, because I guess similarly for the Jets loss, I would say we were deflated because there were certain areas of our team that we thought would be a lot better than what we got the last 2 years.
Nice choice of words.
Regime. Well, I mean, think about it. Like, the offensive line, Mekhi Becton, second year, probably should have played better. He wasn't practicing for the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to it. Then you have AVT playing in his first NFL game. I would have thought he would have been better than Feeney, who was in there before, just getting blown up left and right. So the offensive line was definitely a disappointment. They started George Fant on the right side, which made no sense considering he was practicing at left tackle while Becton was out and Moses was on the right side. Now they're going back to Moses on the right side, Fant on the left, with Becton being out for the next 2 months or whatever. Defensively, our corners didn't really get tested last week because the Panthers were able to kind of execute a lot of the short kind of screens and dump off passes to McCaffrey. He had close to 200 yards on us. So I do think that the Jets are going to be in a better position where they're not going to have to deal with Harris the same way they had to deal with McCaffrey. That kind of gives me a little bit of hope. We're definitely going to lose games because of our defense this year. And that's something that Jet fans are just going to kind of have to live with, because we don't have our pass rushers that we signed on for with Vinny Curry or Carl Lawson. Offensively, I liked what I saw from Zach Wilson. That's kind of where I was sort of going with this. The deflating feeling of oh man, that we lost, but there's still something there. This whole season for both teams, Jets and Patriots, it's all about the quarterback. What are they going to do? Are they going to be the guy in the future? And just from the little bit we saw from Zach, I didn't come away upset with anything he did. I mean, he had the interception and it was an ill-advised pass, but by and large, he made some throws that were just some really special throws. And I think if he had any time behind the offensive line, if we get any run game going, if we're able to get more than 2.6 yards a carry, which is what we got last week, I think the Jets' offense is going to look a little bit better. I think we could take advantage of play action. We weren't able to do really any of that week 1. So I don't know.
So I watched the condensed version of your game as well, just the play-by-play, and before I went on Richie's channel, and there was a couple things I noticed about Zach Wilson that I really liked, and then a couple things I'm not gonna say I didn't like, but you could see he was a rookie. There was a couple opportunities where he was trying to move the ball downfield when he had got space. When I was even like looking at the TV going, run. Like you got 10 yards in front of you. Just run. Like I was like, run the ball. His interception wasn't great, but actually his non-interception that got dropped was probably an even worse pass, right? And I think that it's where, Mac Jones had a bad play as well, where he kind of threw the ball behind him, and it was one of those ones where you're just like, take the sack. You know what I mean? Like you got to take the sack. And it was either the first or second quarter. I can't remember. It was the first half. I know the Carolina dropped an interception, and I thought, okay, just take the sack there, kid. You know what I mean? Like you were under pressure, and he was kind of thrown on his back heel, and it went right up the middle. But the one thing I noticed about the Jets, number one, your tight end sucks. I'm sorry. Like, is it Croft? Is that what it is? Like,
That's
my
it.
God. Like, I mean, Wilson must have hit him 5 times where he just dropped the ball. Like, they weren't even tough. Like, okay, it was a bad pass. Like, he just dropped the football. So I think he got burnt a little bit on that. And I mean, obviously, you got a true number 1 in Corey Davis. That guy's no joke, right? But I was telling Richie, and we'll probably get into this a little bit better. There's a lot of games I think the Jets are going to win this year. I just, from a strength and weakness perspective, I don't think the Jets match up well against the Patriots. You know what I mean? It's almost like our strengths are your weaknesses when you start going through it, and then it's and then there's washes in other areas. I'm going to throw one thing at you though, and it's the most Patriot thing in the world because it's been drilled in our heads from our coach. You guys have elite special teams, like especially punt coverage, like absolute elite punt coverage. I was really impressed with your guys' punt coverage. I know that sounds stupid, but I've learned to appreciate special teams, and I was really impressed with your special teams in that game as well.
Yeah, we've had the same special teams coordinator for the past 4 years. He's survived through the Bulls era, Gase era, and the Saleh era. So we've had continuity up front with Brand Boyer.
It says a lot if you can survive those eras.
Yeah.
Getting Hardy, I think, was important too from the Saints. I think that was a really big get for us because.
Hey, and a tip to your kicker, man. Is it Amendola?
He was our MVP. Like that's what wound up happening.
Yeah,
Amendola. I mean, that guy. He wasn't
kicker.
I thought he was just going to kick the ball as far as he could, but he was actually placing it. Like he did a really good job considering your punter went down in the first quarter, right? Like that was
the first
kick. First kick.
And then we signed Thomas Morstead, who was with the Saints for the past decade plus. Now he's our punter.
He's an old guy.
Old 35-year-old.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Amendola will be punting by the end of the game.
Oh, yeah. I don't want that. No, there was Jet fans that were like, "Oh, let's save a roster spot and have Amendola do both." And I'm like, that is the worst decision you can do.
See,
he gets hit. Now you don't kick field goals, you don't get extra points. I mean, you wind up going for 2, but that's.
I'm just gonna throw this out crazy, being Canadian, because we have the CFL here. Nobody carries 2 kickers in the CFL. In the CFL, your kicker does both punts and field goals. Like nobody carries 2 kickers here, so it's a little bit of a different game here than it is in the NFL. Like there's different rules and stuff, but yeah, everybody here, like your kicker is your punter and your field goal kicker.
Now,
that's crazy.
That's interesting. Is there any sort of rationale behind why that would be?
I think it's just always been that way. Like it's just always the only time that we've ever had like the Argos Toronto team here, we had Vanderjack because he's Canadian. We had him come finish his career. That's the only time I ever remember Toronto having a punter and a field goal kicker, like having two separate. Only because you had Vanderjack can kick the field, right? Vanderjack was the field goal kicker. Who was the punt? Christie. Sorry. Christie was it was Christie the punter. Sorry, Doug Christie, the Canadian. He was in the NFL, so that's the only time that we ever had a field goal kicker and a punter. Otherwise, it's always been like their kicker now. I forget his name. I think it's Swayze Waters or something. He does both. He punts the ball and he kicks field goals. Like Pat McAfee never kicked a punt until he got to the NFL. He was a field goal kicker in college. right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and when he told his story in his podcast, and when they drafted him, they said, "Can you punt?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I can punt." And then he called somebody and said, "Can you teach me how to punt? I've never punted a football before." And he's probably one of the best punters ever to play the game, right? Like, so it's yeah. But he apparently was a phenomenal college kicker. But they needed,
that's funny
Colts needed a
because
punter.
Amendola, in an interview after the game, he said he's punted the ball once in a game in his entire life in high school. So he's never practiced punting in his life, and he got thrown into it, and it looked like a natural. Like, it's just like these kickers could be punters. It really is.
Right?
65-yarder, yeah. And then he had a place kick, too. We could talk about punters for the rest of the stream. I'm down.
I think that's where the stream's going, right?
Talking about special teams all day today.
Bill Belichick, for 10 minutes, explained the importance of a long snapper, of the long snapper being its own position. 10 minutes.
I love that. Thomas
It
Henry.
seemed like forever, bro.
You could be
I
one.
was fascinated, but it seemed like
It
way
was
longer
forever.
than 10 minutes.
If you could be one position, it's probably long snapper. Like, they can't hit you. They're not aiming for you to block anything.
Yep.
Like, it's you're protected. It's amazing.
That's the perfect. It's like baseball. People always said, like, if you could play one position of professional sports, what would you do? I said, bullpen catcher. I'm like, for 7 innings, you watch the game, for 3 innings of work, and you make like $80,000 a year. I'm like, who the hell wouldn't want to be a bullpen catcher?
Actually,
It's amazing.
Actually, $80,000 a year to be a bullpen catcher. It's the greatest job in the world.
wow.
That's amazing. We got our buddy Daniel dropping in the super chat. He says, "Gonna be fun, competitive game Sunday, boys. Can't wait to be back at the stadium. Jets 27, Pats 24. That's what I like to hear, Daniel. Richie and I will be at the stadium, so we're looking forward to having some fun out there, seeing all you guys out in Jets land. All right, let me pull this up real quick. We're gonna go into some prop bets and talk a little bit about what we think of each bet. There's going to be 10 different prop bets. I'm going to throw them as poll questions in the chat so the chat can kind of have some fun with this as well. Let me. God, I'm so bad at this. I really got to prep this a little bit better. Bam.
When you're getting that set up, can I throw a question at you guys?
Yeah, sure.
Do you think, say, 2 years from now, like when Wilson and Mac Jones develop, that Tua is going to be the worst quarterback in the division?
I hope so.
I don't think he'll be in the division.
I don't think.
You
Yeah, I
don't
don't
think he'll be there.
No.
It's a good question.
I hope he's good enough to not have Watson in the division.
Like, I just don't see the I don't look at Tua where I'm like, wow, he has potential to be something special. Like, I really genuinely don't. And that sounds like, oh, you're a Jets fan, you're being biased, but I really just don't see it. I see it in Mac so far. It's been one game, so it's really, really tiny, small sample size. But it's all it's kind of crazy that we're all looking up at Josh Allen now. That's weird.
I agree but Ryan, I don't know if you remember, I was on your channel a couple of years ago, and I said, and that was when Darnold was looked at as the future of the division, and I said it's going to be Josh Allen. Like, I could already see it in that kid back then. I said he needs a coach who can kind of guide him, and McDermott's been the right guy, right, to just get his head on straight. So I'm not afraid to say that another quarterback is good. I mean, I've been very complimentary on air and off air about Zach Wilson. That kid's got a high ceiling of what he can turn into. I've never had, like, I watched Tua play again, and I'm like, you're not very good. Like, you're like, you weren't the number 5 overall pick you know what I mean? When I watch him play, like, you were a good 2nd round project, Tua. Like, that's what, and I know if TD's watching, he's going to be going through the roof, but that's really what I see. That's really what I see Tua is a 2nd round project. I said it at the beginning of this year. I said Tua is going to be the 3rd best Alabama quarterback in the NFL by the end of this season, because I think Jalen Hurts and Mac are both going to outperform him this year.
I could definitely see that. I was not a big believer in Tua. I was worried when he wound up going to the Dolphins, and then, like, watching all of last year and seeing, like, Fitzpatrick come in different, like, points of games. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, this makes zero sense if you're trying to grow this kid's confidence and get him, sort of rolling. But I'd love nothing more than Tua to just flop really hard after Watson gets traded somewhere else. That's my.
Or he can just be an average, below average quarterback, and he's there for a long time.
Yeah, I want him to be average.
That would be wonderful. That would be.
So he can just stay in the division.
He could be like the Chad Pennington of the division.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got a sponsor for the channel. This episode is brought to you by WinView Games, the nation's sports prediction leader and home for pre-game and live New York Jets prop contests. I know all you live and breathe the Jets, so if you want to put that Jets knowledge to the test, download WinView right now. WinView.tv/Jets Talk. That's WinView.tv/Jets Talk. Play against other people in free or real money contests. Play your first $20 risk-free with Jets contests every day until the end of the season. I know this app is for you. So this is a really cool app. They reached out to me and wanted to sponsor the channel, and they have a lot of fun. There's some really cool prop bets that you can get into. Again, you don't have to spend any money. You can totally just do it for fun, so I definitely recommend you checking it out. And they have all sports, not just football. Obviously, this is going to be a very biased question. Who wins the game? They give you odds. Basically, there's money or a line associated with each one. So the Jets, if you were to bet money on the Jets winning, and you would say, hey, the Jets are going to win, you would have a 3.7 times multiplier on whatever you decided to wager on that potential prop. Where with the Patriots, if they were to win, since they would be considered favorites, you only get 1.9 times multiplier. So based on how different each prop bet is, likely to happen or unlikely to happen, is how you get some points and win some money. So with that being said, Richie, tell me who wins this game and why.
Do it, Richie.
Do it,
Richie.
I already know what he's going to
No!
Richie's already told me.
The Jets are gonna win this game, okay? I don't care. I don't care if even if.
Wait a minute, you can't make two separate predictions.
It's actually three because he told me on my channel that the Patriots are going to win too. So
No, I switched up my answer.
I can't take you
Jerk.
On the round table. I got time to think about it, Master. I said the Pats, and then when I got to speak again, I was like, you know what? I'm not going out of the stream saying the Pats are going to win. But listen, I always try to be as realistic as possible. This game is going to be, it's not in our favor. We are definitely the underdogs. Ray said it beautifully. All of the Patriots' strengths go right in hand with the Jets' weaknesses. But I'm going to die in the hill, and I'm going to say the Jets are going to win simply because I'm going to the game, and it needs to happen. Okay? Jets are going to win this game.
I love that. I'm predicting the Jets to win. I think it's going to be a battle, but I think there's going to be some confidence. I think there's going to be some energy in the stadium. Jets home. You're going to get that feeling. Zach Wilson's going to come back. The offensive line's not going to be what we saw last week. And we're going to get to Mac Jones a little bit. We're not Zach Wilson's way better than Tua. So I'm going to say Jets are going to win this one. Before I get over to our Patriot friends, G107, new subscriber to the channel, says Brady left the Patriots last year, and this sorry team still couldn't beat us. Patriots got this win on Sunday, 37-10. Wow.
Well, that's my boy. Sorry.
If I had known that was going to be the super chat, I don't know if I would have showed it. And then Kevin drops in and says, Jets unless the Patriots cheat again. Hashtag Bella cheat. There we go, brother.
I hope he does. I hope he cheats the shit out of you guys.
I have the emojis that I added into the chat. I don't know if you guys are watching the side over here, but what would be the U in the profanity word of FUCK is a nice little asterisk in Patriot colors. So that's
perfect.
That's where I'm from.
I've already I told you, Ryan, 2 weeks ago.
I know.
None of those rings are tainted to me, and I hope he cheats you on Sunday. You know what? I hope it comes out after that he cheated you guys. The loss.
No, I don't want to get fined anymore. I don't want to get.
I don't want to lose draft picks. I'm sick of losing draft picks. That's what's getting to me.
All right, Ray, tell us who wins this game.
All right, so I do think it's the Patriots. As a gambler, though, and I think I have to do this as a responsible gambler, I wouldn't bet on this game because I don't like that payout for the Patriots. The Jets number is tempting because it's high. But I would if you were forcing me to bet, I'd pick the Patriots this game. Is there any way I could pick them to win by 6 points or something, and I get more money on it?
Not on WinView. WinView's all prop bets, so it's not so much.
Well, no, because
we
use other channels to do props. I was just asking. Just so you know, anything we do today, Connor and I are both my partner Connor and our channel are both gamblers, and we do Gamblers Corners, and we tell people what are smart bet. We always tell people, even when the Patriots are we're don't bet on that game. Don't lay 200 juice on the Patriots. We see too many stupid people bet, and because we've done our stupidity, we try to teach people. So if I had to bet, I'd pick the Patriots, but I wouldn't bet 109.
Mitt Flair drops in, says, which team with a new head coach looked best? Mitt, I love you, but we're talking some Jets Patriots. They don't got a new head coach yet.
It was Salah. The answer.
Salah, yeah, that's the answer.
Not
and then Ryan
Sirianni.
Cosner, going to be going to the game with us, says, go Jets, bring some happiness to a sad Giants fan right now. At least beat the Pats. Yeah, did you guys watch the Thursday night game at all?
Yeah, I was at a bar
Yeah.
last
It
night
was
filled with Giants
beautiful.
fans.
Just beautiful.
I don't actively root against the Giants, but watching it
Oh
kind of
my God.
unfold the way it did, like Daniel Jones played well. That offense played well. And then the defense, which is supposed to be the strength of their team, really just kind of fell flat. And
Like
then,
I was
of course, they
uncontrollably
shot
laughing
themselves in the foot.
at the bar, and I felt so bad. Like I wasn't laughing at them. I was just laughing like, wow, that
Did you
like,
guys
sucked.
did you guys see any of that Monday Night Manning?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
did.
I saw like
watched
little
it,
clips.
and
But
then
I
It was
didn't
awesome.
You gotta watch the clips of it as it's going into that crazy finish because it's hilarious the way they break it down. I wish I would have been
It
watching
was
it
with
live.
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, because I was laughing watching it live, and then after I heard their replays, I'm like, I would have been dying if I would have saw this live with their reactions to what was happening. Like
It's kind of
just-
cool because it kind of reminds me of like YouTube. You know, they're literally just
It
like.
is.
I thought they were calling the game like a broadcaster, and then I tuned in, and they're literally just reacting to the game like we would when we're live for the game. Like it was kind of sick.
Yeah, except like they're so much smarter than us, so
Oh,
they were
yeah.
they were saying so much knowledgeable stuff.
Breaking down film in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Master at work, who wins this game?
There is no way on earth that we are going to lose to alt-right Jimmy Clausen this Sunday. You guys have too many injuries. I don't understand why this is even a bettable game. How is this even a bettable game? Like,
It's not a bettable game.
Dad bod.
oh, it's not. You can't even like. It's.
Oh,
just-
no.
Come
Yeah,
on, man. Yeah, let's be real, man. Y'all couldn't even beat us with Cam Newton last season. Like y'all ain't beating us with Mac Jones. And I watched the kid, Jimmy Clausen, last week. He looked okay. He has a couple flashes, but he can't really do nothing with the. I mean, you got Robbie. Well, no, that's right. You don't got Robbie Anderson anymore, do you?
No.
No.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You lost to your old quarterback and your old receiver last week. That's right. I just had to remind you guys. You literally lost to Sam Darnold
Guy.
and Robbie Anderson last week.
Get this guy off
Like-
the camera. What do I do? Oh,
I'm just being.
Bam! Put him in time.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I have the power. I'm almighty. Talking smack. I like it.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, like, I know, listen, I would say I'm very confident heading into this game, but you guys are rebuilding. Like, you lose, you guys aren't going to be really too upset because you expect to lose. Meanwhile, we expect to win, especially because we were supposed to win last week. And there's just no way, unless an injury occurs to Mac Jones, that we're losing this game.
Yeah, if I
I
can
would say
jump on
the
that.
expectations are definitely different. The Jets were kind of thinking going into the season 6 to 8 wins was probably like considered a successful season. Year one, rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, completely rebuilt team. That being said, I really want to beat the Patriots. I need a win. It's been like
Honestly,
a long
though,
time since I
This
had
is
a
our
win.
only chance to because we're
Ryan,
not beating
Not since the
top four.
iPhone 6, I think.
Ryan, honestly though, if I was a Jets fan this year, I mean this with all sincerity. This isn't Misha talking. I mean this all sincerity. If I was a Jets fan, I'd be hoping for a tank this year. Because you guys are a year away from being like a good to very good team and probably 2 years away from being a great team. If you could add another top 10 pick into that, you know what I mean? And whether it's shoring up something on defense or something, I mean, like, because the team's already got the pieces. You got the cap coming up, you know what I mean, to be able to bring in free agents. You've brought in your number one that can grow with Wilson because Davis is pretty young, you know what I mean? I'd really, if I was a Jets fan, I'd be I know it sucks hoping for losses. Tyson and I got to that point, the Patriots last year, we're like, okay, can you just keep losing and actually give us a chance to get a quarterback? Like, don't win
Yeah,
these.
now you got a little taste of it. We've been doing that forever. I'm sick.
Well, like, I
That's
would-
another thing.
I want some
Y'all
wins.
can't even
God, I
tank
just
right.
want to root for a W. I'm like,
Dude,
Y'all can even tank
when we
right.
get
You
to
guys-
like
yeah, you
November and like everything's going down the toilet, totally different story. But like right now, I got some hope. Like at least
I'd rather
if we
them
can, like
I'd rather them win some games and establish a foundation and a winning culture under Saleh instead of just them like just going out there. But it does feel like they're tanking in terms of like they cut their most experienced cornerback to give our 6th-round rookie the starting job because they want these kids to develop over time. So it's not like they're tanking for losses, but they're really honing in. We are the youngest team in the NFL, and the coaching staff is expecting them to struggle. They're expecting to lose in a way, and they understand that there's going to be a lot of adversity to overcome. So they kind of are tanking in a way, but they're not at the same time, if that makes sense.
I was on Ryan's channel last year. He blindsided me again because he said, come join my channel, and I showed up, and it was him and 3 other Jets fans, and then me trying to discuss. But I remember it was right after the win on, I think it was either Monday or Thursday night. I think it was Monday Night Football. And whatever Flacco was the quarterback. And I just remember saying to asking you guys, what Nick Folk kick was bigger, the kick against Indy to go to the in the playoffs, or the kick against the Jets last night to keep you in the Trevor Lawrence race? You know what I mean? That was it was a 50-yarder to win it.
Yeah, when you think about like the Jets were that last-second field goal against the Patriots and a Hail Mary against the Raiders from being a 4-win team. Like I don't think we're as bad as like what we were last year. Like I think there's probably something to be said for motivation with a head coach. And I don't think anyone, specifically 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐢𝐞𝐬, I think he opted out because he didn't want to play for Gase. I think that's kind of where that came from. And I think a lot of the team probably felt similar in some extent. Now, Mariano drops in the super chat, says, if Zach has to throw the ball almost every play, we are not winning this. If we could establish the run game, 23-20 Jets. So it seems like a lot of Jet fans are thinking, don't put too much stress on Zach Wilson, establish the run game, and then just kind of make it a close game. Keep it close. That's all you got to do. Don't let this game get away from you. The Jets and Zach Wilson threw the ball or tried to throw the ball 43 times last week. 6 of those wound up being sacks. And then, barely any yardage on the ground. So we got to be able to control the clock and try to get some yardage.
If the Jets lose this game in a 1-possession game and it goes down to the wire and Zach plays well, I'm walking out of MetLife with a smile on my face. Like I obviously I want the W, but this season is not about the W's. It's really about if they can be in every game. Are we competitive? Is Saleh making adjustments? Does this team have fight? Do they have a desire? Do they have these things that they lacked so much last year? That's really with my mindset going in because, obviously we're the underdogs here. We're not the favorites by any means for a lot of reasons. But if we can stay in the game throughout the entire game and we lose in the last second, it's going to be heartbreaking in the moment. But the next day, as Jets fans, we're not going to be too concerned for the long run.
100%. Let's move on to our next prop bet. This one, both teams combined to score 41 or more points in the game. Guys in the chat, the poll question is up. I want to hear from you guys. Do both teams combine to score more than 41 points in this game? I feel this is a tough one. I think it's going to be a yes. I think both teams will wind up getting over 20 points. So by virtue of that, I think they will get over the 41. Now, how is the Patriot defense? How are you guys looking? I saw Judon flying around a little bit, definitely more than I was hoping he would. Do the Jets have an opportunity to score some points because Gilmore's not out there?
No, but with J.C. Jackson, again, if you guys play the game plan right, if you can hit quick slants and Zach Wilson get the ball out of his hand quickly, which I will say was the one thing I didn't see enough of out of him last week when I was watching that Panthers game. He was looking for a big play a lot. He's going to be in trouble if he keeps looking for big plays and doesn't move the ball quickly, because that's when the Patriots are ball hawks on those kind of plays. You know what I mean? Because do you remember the touchdown when Corey Davis followed Wilson and then they threw it in the end zone? That's what the Patriots corners do too, and safeties do. Like the safety will just follow, but he'll disguise it and Wilson won't know, and then when he lets it go, all of a sudden he'll be leaping in front. Where we got killed last week on slants, like slants to Parker, slants to Waddle. Like I said, 111 yards were yak yards. You know what I mean? And slants are what killed us. If he gets the ball up quickly, deals with the pressure, throws under pressure, gets those slants, you have a chance to move the ball. I personally have the game going 24-17, so I'm going to take the 41 on this. Like, I'll take 41 or more.
The NY Bully drops in the super chat, says, I bet Master at Work has 2 lazy eyes under those sunglasses.
My eyes look better than the
run through you.
That's all you need to. That's all you need to know.
All right, Master.
I don't have Adam Gates eyes.
Are we seeing 41 points out of this game, Master at Work?
Yeah, about 35 of them coming from New England, though.
Oh, bite me.
Yeah, I believe we can see 41 points.
Richie, what about you?
I don't think you guys score a touchdown in this game, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's a bold statement. Bold statement.
Not really.
Well, maybe it's not bold to you guys. I think it's bold.
I mean, not really. It's just that's another thing. Like, you guys expect the worst. Like, you guys go into every game expecting the worst. We go into every game expecting the best because that's what we're accustomed to. So once you start winning some games in the future, maybe your mindset will change. But until then, man, I really, like, you can't really blame me because, like I said, you haven't really been competitive all that much the last couple of years.
God, Richie, I really just want to win this game in the worst way. And
oh my God, so bad.
You guys don't understand, though, the arrogance level of us is so high.
Like, it is. I just want to
but even a loss.
I want you in quarterback purgatory for like 10 years.
Yeah, like, I hate that.
That's it. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I want you guys to feel everything that Jet fans have felt for the last, like, well, at least my entire duration of it as a Jet.
Again, I think I've been pretty fucking complimentary this entire.
You have. This is like,
and you keep wishing purgatory on me.
Fired up. That's what's happening.
No. You're wishing purgatory. I hope Zach Wilson.
On the fan base
I hope
as a
Zach
whole.
Wilson burns his tongue on a coffee now in the catering this afternoon.
Richie, we see 41 points this game.
I'm going to take the under, honestly. I think this is going to be a defensive, gritty matchup. I think Saleh's defense is going to be ready. I think they're going to try their best to shut down the run and force Mac Jones to beat us with his arm. And I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I really do believe that both teams will score around, little under 20 points or just around there. So I don't think it's going to go over, but like, I don't expect, both offenses to explode or one or the other, but hey, I could be completely wrong.
just a little tidbit that Jets fans probably don't know. And I expect to see more of this week. And as the season goes on, I don't know how much more it's going to be this week, but Jonnu Smith caught 5 passes last game. And that's the most passes caught by a Patriots tight end since 2018. Since Gronk in one game, since Gronk. So
I'm worried about your tight ends.
Yeah, and like I said, they missed most of the real, like, they missed a lot of joint practices. They missed a lot of training camps, so we expected it to come out slow. 8 catches between the two of them. Henry made a really nice shoestring, and I'm expecting to see them a little bit more involved in the game plan as well this week. But just a little tidbit. I don't know what's going to happen this game. I don't know if this is going to be the game that anything explodes, but that was, when I saw that stat today, I was like, damn. Like, since 2018, shit.
Blown away. Guys, if you want to join in some of these prop contests, there is a link down below in the description for WinView. You could download it. It's totally free. If you want to bet some money on it, you certainly can as well. It's a lot of fun. Those are the props that we're kind of going over here. Our next prop contest, and you can also vote in the chat, for both teams scoring over 41 points, it was 51% said yes, 48% said no, which leads me to believe there's 1% totally missing, and maybe they think it's, I guess you can't. It's either yes or no. It can't be. I don't know how we got one less. But, okay, next prop. Mac Jones or Zach Wilson records 3 or more passing touchdowns in this game.
Are there odds attached to this?
Quarterback. This one, okay. So let me see so I'll give you the odds for the 41 points while we have it. No was the majority. It was a 2.3 times multiplier, where yes is a 3.2. So the favorite was definitely a no.
Oh, I would definitely take the yes. Then that's a good payout, and it's going to be 41. That's not a stupid bet.
So now for the 3 touchdowns, they're saying Jones or Wilson records 3 or more passing touchdowns in the game. Yes or no?
No.
4 times yes? Someone's going to throw 3? I don't think anyone's going to throw 3. Passing. That seems.
See Zach passing for 2 and rushing in for 3. So
I love it.
no, I'm just kidding. No, all in all, I don't see it happening. I don't think that both of these guys are going to be throwing the ball as much because they're both like a ground and pound mindset, especially the Patriots. And the Jets, that's their mindset. They're trying to get the run game going. I think they're going to take a step forward in the run game this week. Not saying it's going to explode and have 150-plus yards, but I think it's going to be way better than last week because that's going to be easy to do because that's how bad it was. So I'm not expecting it to have 3 touchdown passes from Zach or Mac.
Master at work. What about you? 3 touchdown passes from either one of these quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think Mac to the future throws 5. Zach Wilson, Jimmy Clausen
I hope he does.
throws 0.
I feel like I can't take you seriously on anything because everything's so over the top with you. I can't do it. If Mac Jones throws,
You're right. Mac's gonna throw over the top.
If Mac Jones throws 5 touchdowns on this, I don't know what I'll do, but you're gonna find me like.
You can try to draft another quarterback in 4 years.
Oh God! Don't do this to me.
Not happening.
Don't do this to me. The chat.
We'll even give you one of our coordinators. You can take I don't know,
want any of you.
Ivan
Get the
Fears
hell outta
maybe, or
I just gotta say that I haven't heard Jimmy Clausen yet, and I'm just digging that. I'm just digging the Jimmy Clausen.
Muted. Shutting down the Patriots, guys. All right, so the chat looks like they're saying 53% says no, 47% says yes for the 3 touchdowns. Let's see, what's our next one here? Any New England player records 2 or more rushing touchdowns in this game.
What are the odds on that?
So they have it's almost dead even. Yes is 2.2 multiplier, no is 2.6.
I'm going to say yes.
So you think someone gets 2 or more rushing touchdowns? You think Harris gets?
So like
2?
one player has to get 2.
One player has to get.
So it's not just like 2
sorry.
total.
I thought. I'm going to say no then because I think it's going to come from 2 different backs. I know. You know what? You know what? If I'm gambling, yeah, I'll say yes. What is it? 2.6 for the yes?
2. Where'd it go? 2.6 for the no, 2.2 for the yes.
Ooh, yeah, I dropped 20 on yes. I would go. I would drop $20 on yes.
What about you, Richie? You think any New England player scores 2 rushing touchdowns?
No, I know that Harris is their number 1 and they feed him the most, but I feel like the Patriots are going to spread it around, and I don't see one player getting 2, but it is very possible though. I just wouldn't put my money on it.
What about you, Master? How are you thinking?
I don't. The reason why I don't think so is because first, I don't think they trust the running backs to be trying to run it in again through the at least at the 10-yard line, and because Max Jones is going to throw all the touchdowns in this game. So no, I don't believe so.
I just want to point out to your audience too that I'm answering this as a gambler, not as like.
This is a good thing though. That's what this is, I think should be looked at as.
Yeah, because if I wasn't gambling, I might have said no. If I'm going to be honest, if I wasn't gambling, I might have said no. But I like the 2.2 on yes, and I would take that for a yes. So throw that out there.
I'm concerned with you guys and the tight ends. I would say no on this purely because I think the Jets' run defense is going to be better when not having to worry quite so much about McCaffrey like that. Like he's just crazy out of the backfield. I'm not quite as threatened by the Patriots.
Well,
running backs the same way.
Can I throw something at you? Just because I was kind of explaining this to Richie. We don't have the talent in one player of Christian McCaffrey. We really don't. But the Patriots are running back by committee. There's going to be a big name. If you were looking at the inactives for this game, look for J.J. Taylor because he was inactive last game, and I think it was the stupidest decision that Belichick made.
Yeah, it was. He's playing this game.
He's got to. Collectively, we have the matching skill set to Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? And J.J. Taylor is a guy who's like a Rex Burkhead who can run and can catch. And Damian Harris actually catches balls. So I think he had 3 catches the last game as well. And Ramondre Stevenson had 2 catches before he got benched. right? For not fighting for a ball. So we don't have a singular player like Christian McCaffrey, who to me is the best offensive player in football right now. So no one's going to have that. But the running backs by committee are still a threat in the way of, we do have James White and J.J. Taylor, who are threats out of the backfield to catch the ball, and both can run as well. And then we have our two ground and pound guys in Stevenson and Harris, but they will go out and catch the football as well. Just want to drop that little piece of before you're putting money on a bet.
That's what I want to hear. That's why you're here. That's why you've been invited onto the cockpit. Next one, at least 3 different New York Jets players record a sack in this game. For this one, it says 3.9 is yes. 3.9 times multiplier, yes. 1.8, no. I'm taking the no based on how I watched the Patriots offensive line work last week and how the Jets defensive line worked. I don't know if we're going to hear anyone say yes for this one. Richie, I'll throw it to you first.
At least 3 different Jets players record a sack in this game. Well, listen, going into this season, this was supposed to be our bread and butter of the defense. Obviously, the Carl Lawson injury and the Vinny Curry injury did not help us out there. I can see it happening, but at the same time, who we're going up against doesn't make that seem possible, because Mac Jones got rid of the ball very quickly based on all the pressures that Miami gave them, and the Patriots also have a very good offensive line. I was hoping that Trent Brown was out, but I think he's questionable now instead of being out for good, for sure this game. So, it's very possible just to get 3 sacks. I think a guy like John Franklin Myers can get one, again, like he did last week. I think Quinnen is destined to have one. I think Rankins can get one. I think Bryce Huff is destined to get one. Not saying all of them will get one, but we have a lot of guys on this team that can get to the quarterback. So you know what? I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to say that we get 3 sacks in total in this game, all from three different players.
Oh, that's a Jets fan right there. I love it, Richie.
That's what the Salas defense is all about. All gas, no break. That's what he came here to do, get to the quarterback. We're going up against a very good front. This is a big test for this defensive line, and I feel like, 3 sacks is not like, crazy. I feel like 3 sacks is a decent game, but it's not like, you took over the game like the Panthers did against us.
Now, we'll see. What gets me is like the Jets had no push up front against a very suspect Panthers offensive line, and now we're going into like the New England game, and they just seem so much better than the Panthers.
I mean, we did get some push. I mean, we hit Sam a lot. He just got rid of the ball very fast. Like, that was the problem. Like, there was multiple times where easily could have been in sack. Like, Quinnen almost had a sack, Bryce Huff, even Shaq Lawson. Like, there's a lot of guys that got to Sam. He just got rid of the ball very fast. And I do think Mac is probably going to do the same thing, because the Jets don't really need to blitz a lot, because we're relying on our 4-man front to get to the quarterback. And we had good push, but Sam just got rid of the ball too fast for us to really, bring him down for a sack. That was the problem.
Ray, what about you? What are you thinking?
I think it's fair to say Miami's defense is better than the Jets' defense. I think Miami's got a top 5 defense. They blitzed 19 times against Mac Jones, and I think they got 1 sack out of the play. Even if Trent Brown isn't there, at this point, I want Trent Brown just to sit out and make sure he's completely healthy, because the Patriots actually have probably one of the deepest offensive lines in the league. Our left guard, Mike Onwenu, was our right tackle last season. He was, I believe, the 6th-ranked offensive lineman in the NFL and the 3rd-ranked rookie coming out of out from last year's draft. We also have Ted Karras, who's a starting caliber interior lineman who was supposed to be our starting center because they didn't think they were going to be able to re-sign David Andrews, and because of that, he's on the bench. So if Brown can't go, and I hope that Belichick is smart enough to do this, is you kick Onwenu out to right guard or right tackle and bring Karras in as left guard. So I'm still not worried about this offensive line. Another piece too is offensive linemen and tight ends this week must have mentioned in their press conferences at least 50 times how pissed they were that they didn't protect Mac Jones enough. And he was sacked 1 time and I think hit 4 times on 19 at least 5-man blitzes coming off the thing. So and
that got abused.
All they kept saying was, we need to protect him better. We need to protect him better. We need to protect him better. Because of that, I feel like that was an emphasis this week in practice, that and ball security. So I'm expecting the Patriots to run the ball. I'm expecting Hunter Henry on the field a lot more, especially blocking. And I'm actually expecting to see a lot more of Jakob Johnson, who's our fullback, out there blocking as well. Because of that, I don't think the Jets are going to get 3 sacks, let alone from 3 separate players. But for gamblers, I wouldn't bet on this anyways because the payout's not. You might as well throw 20 on the yes just to see what happens, or $10 on the yes because of the payout. But I wouldn't touch this game because I don't like the payout for no.
What about you, Master? What are you thinking?
This is a tough one because, I think the only way the Jets can record a sack is if Jimmy Clausen runs into 3 different offensive linemen of Jets butt cheeks. To be honest with you, like
muted. Done with this guy.
You can't do that. You can't.
I can. It's my stream. No, you can come back. You can talk.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Listen, this possible. You know what's crazy is that Brady took a lot of sacks his rookie year too. Rookies tend to take a lot of sacks. I don't really think it's going to be more of your defensive line that takes it. I think that you guys will look into a couple of sacks just because rookie quarterbacks tend to get sacked a lot. So, but am I worried? Not really. Like I said, you guys don't have Carl Lawson anymore. Like I said, our offensive line is pretty stout. I don't know if Trent Brown's going to be back or not, but I'm not really worried about it.
All right, next prop. Either team makes 3 or more field goals in this game. We didn't see any kicks from Amendola last week. I think I would take the yes. I don't know. I think, like Richie said, it's going to be more of a defensive battle, and I think one of these 2 teams will have 3 field goals. So I would take the yes here. Richie, what about you?
Yes. I think that we're going to keep the Patriots out of the end zone and force them to kick a lot of field goals. I was very impressed with the Jets' red zone defense against the Panthers. Very impressed, especially with Christian McCaffrey out there. I mean, the one touchdown we gave up was the bomb to Robbie, and then the second one was the quarterback draw from Sam. So we essentially gave up 1 touchdown in the red zone, and they had a lot of opportunities. So I'm going to bank on that. I think that the Jets are going to do their job in the red zone. So I'm going to say the no on this one.
Ray, what about you?
Odds.
So it says 3.5 times multiplier for yes, 2 for no.
Yeah. Based on my final score prediction, the math doesn't allow for 3 field goals, so I'm going to have to go with the no. Otherwise, it takes away my 41, my other bet. So I'm going to go with no. Even though I'm really tempted to say yes, I'm going to go with the no on this one.
What about you, Master at Work? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think the Jets are going to be kicking field goals this game, to be honest with you.
Kevin dropped in with a super chat. Kevin says, Mac Jones or versus Zach Wilson, interception, who throws more INTs? It's going to be Mac Jones, obviously. I'm not going to go around the entire thing because it's such a lopsided question.
Can I throw out my actual prediction for that? I think it's going to be
throwing picks.
I think it's going to be a clean game from the quarterbacks, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. I'm not overly scared of either secondary, to be honest. Like, I do think the Patriots have a better one than the Jets. I think the Jets don't have a great secondary outside of May. I wish we had Joyner. It really bugs me that we're losing him for the senior. That was like an understated loss for the Jets week 1.
I'd be a little bit more worried about our secondary than maybe you're thinking, because I know we don't have Gilmore. Jackson's still very capable, but we have a phenomenal safety group, like not just one, with
Mills,
an Adrian Phillips, McCourty, and Duggar. So I wouldn't necessarily completely count it out. You guys gotta. I know that for sure J.C. Jackson's gonna be on Corey Davis because he said today that Gilmore was helping him prepare for him. So you're gonna have to try to beat Juwan Williams or Mills on the other side if they're lined up as corners. But I don't know who you counter with there. That's the only issue. I think you want to hear the weirdest prediction that won't be a prop bet. I think your most productive receiver is going to be Braxton Berrios.
Knew it.
Ex-Patriot.
That surprised me.
Patriot. Because I think if Salah's smart, he'll throw slants, and I think he's the guy to make those. His speed, he's the guy to make those catches.
Well, that's supposed to be Elijah Moore's game. That's our slant guy. That's our slant guy. And Jamison Crowder's was out last week, and he is above the depth chart of Berrios. So, but I love Braxton. I think Braxton's probably the most underappreciated wide receiver on the Jets amongst Jets fans.
Yeah, I would go so far as to say the emergence of Braxton Berrios makes me feel comfortable enough to trade Jamison Crowder at some point during the season for draft picks, because I don't think the drop-off – there's clearly a drop-off between Crowder and Berrios, but I don't think it's drastic enough where we'd see that big of an impact because we have Elijah Moore. We're hoping to see more Mims. We got Keelan Cole and we got Corey Davis. So, like, we're not bringing back Crowder next year. So I like Berrios. I'm actually a fan. I'm glad he made this roster.
He's dope.
He was a guy I was disappointed when they cut. Like, he was someone when the Patriots cut him. He was somebody I wanted to be on this team.
And when we signed him, I'm like, yes, we got our version of Amendola or
Wes
or
Welker,
Edelman.
like
I was like, yeah, stupid Belichick, we got him.
I love it. Next prop, Corey Davis records more receptions than Jakobi Meyers in this game. Yes, 2.3 times multiplier. No, 2.8 times multiplier. I think I'm going to say yes because I think Corey Davis and Zach Wilson have a really good connection. And then I also think that the Jets could be playing from behind and the Patriots might be running the ball a little bit more. So I think Wilson will probably have more attempts than Mac Jones does. So I'm going to go with yes on this. Richie, what about you?
I'm going to have to say no because the Patriots defense is known to be able to shut down the number one receiver. And I feel like it's up to the Jets receiving core to have, someone else step up. It's going to be Elijah Moore. I think this is his opportunity. His rookie debut, obviously was very underwhelming. Us Jets fans have a lot of expectations for him. And if they're going to do man-to-man coverage with Corey with a single high safety and they're going to double him, there's another receiver on this Jets team really needs to step up. So that's why I feel like Elijah Moore will finish with more receptions than Corey Davis and Jakobi. And that means Myers is probably going to have more than Corey. But I do think that they're going to still target him. I still think Corey finishes around like 4 or 5 receptions, but I think Myers is going to get a little more.
Ray, what about you? What are you thinking?
Richie nailed it on the head. Be prepared for man-to-man coverage with J.C. Jackson, who I think is an elite number 2 and a good number 1. But he's gonna have a single. He's gonna have a high safety backing him up. I think you're gonna see a lot of high-low coverage. I think he's gonna get the Tyreek Hill treatment. And if you look at the Patriots' record against Tyreek Hill, he doesn't catch many footballs. That being said, I think that Mac Jones has a better connection with Nelson Aguilar and the tight ends, and I am going to go with Corey Davis only because I think the ball's going to get spread out, and I think James White or one of the tight ends or Aguilar is going to have a lot of catches, and I think Myers might get like 2 catches, 3 catches again. So I'm going to go with Corey Davis on this one.
Master at work, you're up.
This is the first time I've ever heard of Corey Davis. I'm not going to lie to you, so I can't really give you too much insight.
Do you know where he came from?
No, I don't think so.
How much does it cost
I don't even know who
your
it
troll
is.
bridge?
I'm actually like starting to believe that he doesn't exist. So.
I can't tell if you're trolling.
Do I have quarters to pass your troll bridge right now? Do I have to answer riddles when I come over?
He was the 5th overall pick for the Titans, and then he had injury problems, and then he blew up last year. Had just under 1,000 receiving yards, next to AJ Brown on the Titans, and then we.
He's from the Titans. Richie, you let me say he played for the Panthers 3 times on your channel and never corrected me, but it was Curtis Samuel who played for the Panthers.
Yes.
Wait, you're referring to?
See, Corey? I told you they don't even know if he even exists.
I was referring to Corey Davis as the Panthers because I know that the Panthers lost one of their top receivers too, and you never corrected me. You let me look like an asshole on your channel.
You deserve it.
I didn't understand what you were saying.
I love you, Ray.
Yes, Corey Davis played for the Titans. Curtis Samuel played for the Panthers, right? Good for me.
That is true.
Yeah,
I'm happy I figured that out 2 days later.
I mean, he was the best. Corey Davis was the number 1 receiver in the NFL last year in play action yardage.
Yes, which to me makes no sense that the Titans let him walk and then traded for Julio Jones. Like, to this day, I don't get that move. Why didn't you just re-sign Corey Davis? Like,
I know, and I'm very happy because he looks like a true number 1. I mean, he is everything Zach Wilson needs. Exactly that. I'm excited for his potential.
Good for you guys.
All right, next prop.
I haven't had a wide receiver once since Brandon Marshall.
How many props are there? God dang.
There's 10. We just keep taking a long time on each one. New England records total.
Is there a prop? Are the Jets cursed? Is the Joe Namath selling his soul to the devil real? Is that a
muted? New England records more total passing yards than the New York Jets in this game. God, I don't know. I feel like I keep answering this as if the Patriots are going to be winning and running the ball, and Zach Wilson is going to have to throw the ball. If the Jets' offensive line is as bad as it was last week, I think the Jets will have to pass the ball more. So I'll say yes, but man, I don't love this one. This one has 2.4 times multiplier yes, 2.9 times multiplier no. So they're saying the Jets should have more passing yards. Richie, I'll throw it to you first.
Goodbye, Master at Work.
I don't know what happened.
I think
Will you get me to keep muting, okay?
I muted him. He should be fine. There he is. He's back.
I'm gonna have to say no on this one. I think Zach Wilson's gonna have more passing yards. Just because I think what you said, Ryan, is gonna happen. I think the Patriots running game is going to be working, and I think they're going to be really grounding and pounding, and Mac Jones is not going to have to pass the ball a lot, and Zach Wilson's going to be playing from behind the most part of this game, and he's going to be throwing a lot, and maybe at the end of the game is going to maybe get some garbage time yardage if we are down. So I do think Zach Wilson will have more passing yards. That doesn't necessarily mean he'll have the better game, but I think he'll have more passing yards in this game.
Ray, what about you?
An hour ago, I had to listen to you guys talking about how they're going to shut down the Patriots' run game and that they're going to force Mac Jones
what we need to do.
Football.
No, that's what I want
and
them
now
to do.
They're going to run the ball.
What is going to happen is different.
It's a big difference, right? That's what they need to do in order to win the game, but I don't know if that's going to actually happen.
Let me ask you guys a serious question. How are your linebackers in coverage?
Suspect, because we've lost a bunch of linebackers. I feel like
we're on to our third string Mike linebacker right now.
Okay, I am going to say Mac Jones, but I'm going to put an asterisk beside it. I think that Wilson might have more pure passing yards, but I think you're going to see a lot of checkdowns of tight ends and running backs, and there's going to be a lot of yak yards in the play. So I'm going to go with Jones on this one. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to take the Patriots. All
right, Master at Work. What do you think?
Rick Ford's more total passing yards. Yeah, of course. That's an easy bet.
Our chat seems to think that the Jets will have more passing yards. I feel like this is like shocking. When you're on a Jets channel, most of these are going to be skewed. So it is closer though. 59% said no, the Jets will have more passing yards, and 40% said yes, the Patriots will have more. Next prop, we got any player records 2 or more receiving touchdowns in this game. Multiplier 4.4 yes, 1.7 no. So let's do this. Let's say, do you think it'll happen, and then which player is most likely to have that happen? God, more receiving. I'm going to say no, because I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see multiple touchdowns, at least from the Jets side of things. Richie, what do you think in terms of any player recording 2 or more receiving touchdowns in this game?
I think it's a no, but if there is a player, I think it's going to be Elijah Moore, simply because Corey Davis is going to be the focus point, and I think Elijah Moore is still a very, the Jets need to utilize him as a secret weapon, just because there's not a lot of film of him, especially in preseason. And last week, he didn't really get a lot of targets and a lot of opportunities. He had a really good reception. They got called back. So if there were to be someone, it would be the rookie Moore, because out of the slot, I like our odds. But if I'm placing a bet, I'm saying no. There's no, especially on the Jets, a receiver to get 2 touchdowns. And on the Patriots side of things, I don't think so. I think Mac Jones is going to spread the ball around, and they're going to run the ball in, if anything.
Ray, what about you?
I am going to say yes because of some analytics from Richie earlier on. That I think it was Richie, could have been Ryan. I'm giving Richie the credit for everything. So
that's fine. It's because Ray doesn't like me right now.
Yeah, but Richie talked about your red zone defense. I believe that was you, right, Richie? Was that you?
Was me.
Yeah. Talked about the red zone defense. Talked about how Carolina had multiple opportunities. You guys weren't facing a 2-headed monster at tight end in the red zone. Right, and I'm gonna go with Hunter Henry taking 2 touchdowns. I just love the odds. I love that 4.4 bet. We haven't really seen the Patriots execute their tight ends yet. I think this could be the game it happens, and I'm gonna go with Hunter Henry getting 2 touchdowns out of the red zone this game. With those odds, I gotta drop $10 on that for sure.
All right, Master at Work. What do you think? And any player records 2 or more receiving touchdowns this game?
Yeah, because I said Mac Jones was going to throw 5, so 2 of them, I think, each tight end gets 1. Maybe a little dump off to a running back, maybe J.J. Taylor, maybe Damon Harris, James White, maybe. And I think our receiver is definitely going to catch one. I think Aguilar is probably going to be the receiver I would most likely choose to catch a touchdown.
To catch two? To catch 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. I think he catches 2.
All right, fair enough. We move on to our final prop bet. Which team records the most time of possession? Which team records the most time of possession? The Jets actually did relatively well in this. I don't know if we had more time of possession, but it was pretty dead even with the Panthers last week. God, I don't know. I guess if I'm saying Zach Wilson will have more passing yards, I'm going to say the clock may stop more on the Jets because of that. So I'll go with the Patriots, and let's see how they did it. New England, it's dead even, 2.5 times multiplier for either one. So I'm going to say New England for time of possession. Richie, what are you thinking?
Yeah, it has to be the Patriots because they're the better running attack, and whoever has the better running attack usually has the most time of possession. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll win the game, but no, I think the Patriots going to win that aspect of the game.
The Patriots held the ball for almost 37 minutes against the Dolphins last week. That's with giving up 2 fumbles. I know that every video that came out from practice this week was ball security, and I think that there might be electrodes hooked up to them. If they fumble that ball, they're going to get electric shock by the coaches because they were pretty pissed about giving up the football. I got to go with the Patriots. The Patriots game plan this year is long drives and points and just control the clock. So that's the game plan they're going for. So I got to go with the Patriots.
Master at work, how you feeling?
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to win the time of possession like they did last week against the Dolphins. Just like I said, we run the ball better. So yeah, that's my answer. Yes, Patriots.
So my poll question, I threw it in real quick and I wasn't looking at it. It said yes or no. Which team records the most time of possession? So it is back up there, and now it says New England or New York Jets. As of right now, New England has 67% of the vote. Jets have 33%.
Can you tell me what won the yes or no poll?
The yes or no? It was 80% said yes.
Perfect.
Someone's gonna win time of possession, right?
I just love that. That almost 20% were like, yeah, no, it's gonna be even.
I love how, and that was 15 votes. We had 15 votes on that. While like I didn't realize it was not like a thing. I didn't realize that I put it in there until I started seeing other things in there. Kevin sends in a super chat, says redo poll. It says yes or no. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks.
Look at that. You had to make the guy pay to fix your poll.
Look at you. That one's my brother.
Like your actual brother?
That's my actual brother, yeah.
So your brother had to pay to say fix the poll.
He's just like, quit being a dummy.
Maybe your brother can host next time and you can take the night off.
Oh, shut up.
I'm not playing fucking nice with you anymore. You blew that opportunity.
I like it. Let the hate flow through.
You blew that
Words
opportunity.
are better with hate. I wish you could taunt. I wish you could like smack talk a lot. That's what I.
Which, by the way, if I can just say, Richie and Tyson, more Tyson. No offense, Richie, but that episode of the AFC East Roundtable was probably the greatest one you guys have ever done. That was just the lead up, and then it was just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. You guys you knocked it out of the park.
I had nothing to say. It was me and Dan just like this.
Yeah, you and Dan were pretty quiet, but you and TD just knocked that out of the park, and phenomenal job. If that should get 1 million views. Just if you haven't seen it, you got to go watch it. It was just entertainment to the core.
I love it. Guys, those are our 10 prop bets. If you want to join along and do some of these prop bets, there is a link in the description down below. All you have to do is click on that. It's totally free. You don't have to spend any money, but if you would like to spend some money, it's a fun way to kind of have fun. And if you want to support the channel, use the affiliate link down below in the description.
Do I need a code or do I just use the link?
No, I think it's just a link. I don't think it's a code. This is kind of like a newer app, so they're still trying to work on the whole like code system.
All right, I'm going to make my bets now, and I'll tell you how I did.
Kind of fun. So I think the Jets one goes live tomorrow. So that's why normally what I was going to do is I was going to pull up the actual app so everyone could see how it works. but they didn't have them live yet, so they sent me the prop questions before they were released. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. This takes us to the end of our show. I apologize for going a little bit longer on you guys. Let's go around the panel and give us some ideas of what you guys are doing and where they could find you. Master at Work, I'll throw it to you first.
So, like I said, subscribe to my channel, Master at Work. You can follow me on Twitter at Manish Mehta. I usually like to give some nice reports on the Jets from time to time. And like I said, if you guys enjoy Jets content, you guys will be featured in tomorrow's NFL Meme Time. So it's like NFL Prime Time, but with memes, and I do my own voiceovers for that. So I will be doing a Jets and Panthers game of that. So follow me, I guess.
I will shout out my boy facial Tyson. Reactions that I've made. Oh God damn it, Ray, tell them where they can find you.
I will shout out Master at Work. Nobody edits like Master at Work edits. You got to go check out his stuff. You can find me on our YouTube page, Dear Pats Nation. We're on there Sunday to Thursday, talking shit, having fun. I do more serious stuff over on Newsbreak, newsbreak.com/Dear Pats Nation. And the Colorcast app has stupidly paid me to do play-by-play for them. So game days I do play-by-play on the Colorcast app, and I also do a show 4 days a week for them called the Patriots News Desk, which is more of just like legit, more just like it's like a sports center for Patriots. So if you ever want to learn about the enemy and everything that's going on with us, 7 p.m. Eastern time, there's no replays. You got to watch it live. Colorcast is like an online radio station, so that's what they're trying to go for. But if you do want to hear any of my stuff for real, again, we love to have fun. You can download our podcast wherever you get your podcast. Just search up Dear Pats Nation.
I love it, Richie. I can't wait to see you on Sunday, brother. Tell them what you got going on.
Let's go, baby. Finally get to meet you, man. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, I'll be at the game at MetLife. I'm going to try to do a live stream when I'm there. And I'm also going to be recording a vlog as much as I can. The problem with vlogging is no one tends to watch them unless we win. I've recorded some footage at the Charlotte game, and then I got to a point where I'm like, yeah, no one's going to really want to watch this. So I just put it to the side. But I'll be recording a vlog, and it's a home opener, so it's probably going to be up no matter what. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to meet some of you guys there. If you see me, please come up and say what's up. I love meeting all my subscribers. I got to meet so many of you guys down in Charlotte. So you guys know where to find me. Also, if you guys want to check me out on my NFL YouTube channel, it's a separate one from Jets Media. It's called Touchdown Kingdom. I come out with my weekly predictions, and I recap each week as well. I put a lot of time and effort into that. It will mean a lot if you guys go check that out. Touchdown Kingdom, all the NFL content you guys need. So, yeah, you guys know where to find me. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Richie was like the Logan Paul of the football world at that Charlotte game, if you look at all the pictures. And if you ever want to see somebody like totally uncomfortable taking pictures with people, go look at Richie's Instagram page.
I love it. Boys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Seriously, best of luck. I hope you guys lose. Seriously, check out these content creators down below in the description. Subscribe to all their channels. My name is Ryan. This is Jets Talk, the cockpit. I'll be live after the Jets win against the Patriots this week. I'll also be live if we lose, but I'll be live at some point.
Go Jets!
Guys, it's been a lot of fun. This is Jets Talk signing off. Jets!
Jets!
Pulls the